Today we're going over the quadratic equations and in particular the method of using the quadratic formula for solving quadratic equations. A quadratic equation is an equation of the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 where a is not 0. If a were equal 0, this term would not be there and the equation would be bx plus c equals 0, which is linear. When you're solving a quadratic equation, it's important to calculate this quantity, b squared minus 4ac, and we call it the discriminant. Let's just call it delta, okay? So delta is b squared minus 4ac. Here's the space for it, b squared minus 4ac. Okay, if delta is positive, then there are two real roots and they are different. If delta is negative, there are no real roots. Both roots will be complex. And if delta is equal to 0, we have a repeated root, x equals minus b over 2a. So you can call it x1 and x2, and they're both equal to minus b over 2a. When delta is positive or when it's negative, the roots will be x1 equals minus b minus square root of delta over 2a, and x2 is the same thing, but you have plus root of delta in here. Let's do an example. 3x squared minus 24x plus 45 equals 0. Let us identify a, b, and c. A is 3, b is minus 24, and c is 45. And let's put them in the discriminant. Here's the discriminant. B squared minus 4ac. So, b squared minus 4ac. I'm going to put the number b there, which is minus 24. A is 3, and then c is 45. And I'm going to calculate this quantity. This is equal to 576 minus 4 times 3 times 45 is 540. And that's equal to 36. So it's positive. Now I'm going to put this in the quadratic formula, which is this. Minus b minus square root of delta over 2a. That's the first solution. So x1 is minus b minus square root of delta over 2a. And then x2 is minus b plus square root of delta over 2a. But instead of b, I'm going to write the number. Okay, so for us, a is 3, so that goes here. And b is minus 24. So I'm going to put negative 24. And then delta was 36, so that goes under the square root. 36. Okay, so this looks like 24 minus square root of 36, which is 6, over 2 times 3, which is 6. And this would be 24 plus 6 over 6. 24 minus 6 is 18 over 6. That's equal to 3. 24 plus 6 is 30 over 6, which is 5. So our first solution is x1 equals 3. Second solution is x2 equals 5. These are the two roots of the given equation. So x equals 3 and x equals 5 are both roots of this equation equals 0. Let's do another example. 15x squared minus 11x plus 2 equals 0. A is 15, b equals minus 11, and c equals 2. So remember, in the discriminant, b always goes here. So minus 11 goes here. And a goes here, which is 15, and c goes here. This looks like 121 minus 4 times 15 is 60 times 2 is 120. So the discriminant is 1. That means there are two real roots. And it will be minus b minus square root of delta over 2 times a. Okay, so it'll be negative 11 here, put 1 here, and then a is 15. So this looks like 11 minus 1 over 30. Minus 11 minus 1 over 30. Ten over 30. It was plus 11. Minus 11 is plus 11. 10 over 30 is 1/3. The second root will be just like this, but with a plus. So 11 plus 1 over 30. Okay, in one of the roots you have minus square root of delta, in the other one you have plus. So I was thinking of the second root. But The first one is 11 minus 1 over 30, and the second one will be 11 plus 1 over 30. So this will be 12 over 30, which is 2 over 5. You can call this one x1 and this one x2, or you can switch them. This one would be x1 and this one would be x2. So the solutions are 1/3 and 2/5. So x1 equals 1/3, x2 equals 2/5, and you can also switch them if you wish. Here's another example. X squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. A equals 1, b equals 2, and c equals minus 3. So when you put it in the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. b is 2, so that goes first, minus 4. 1 times negative 3. 2 squared is 4. And minus 4 times minus 3 is a plus 12. 4 plus 12 is 16. So that's what goes under the square root. Minus b minus square root of 16 over 2a. So minus 2 minus square root of 16, which is 4 over 2a. This would be minus 3. It's negative 6 over 2, which is minus 3. Second root is minus 2 plus 4. The only difference is there's a plus here instead of a minus over 2. So that's 2 over 2, which is 1. So the two roots are minus 3 and 1, and you can write them in any order. The next equation is 16x squared minus 8x plus 1 equals 0. A equals 16, b equals negative 8, and c is 1. So put them in the discriminant, b squared minus 8 squared minus 4 times 16 times 1. You need to watch out for the minus 8. The whole thing is squared. So negative 8 squared is a positive 64. Minus 4 times 16 times 1 is 64. And this gives us 0. This is the case where the roots are going to be repeated. When delta is 0, there's only the root is minus b over 2a, and it's repeated. Or you can use this form with delta equals 0. So you'll still get minus b over 2a. So the solution is x1 equals minus b over 2a, which is minus... Okay, b is negative 8 and a is 16. So this looks like a negative times a negative is a positive 8 over 32, which is 1/4. And the second root is the same. That's called a repeated root. The same root that happens more than once.